Hi, welcome back. Now today's video is going to be on articles, 3 in number, A and D, and pronunciation. So articles, I will discuss this whole matter in terms of pronunciation or syllable sound, not the letter sound. Okay, syllable sound. Alright, so first thing first, number one, the pronunciation of these three articles, A and D. Okay, so the pronunciations are like this, that A can be pronounced like A. This one is unstressed or unaccented. That's why I am using the U sign. Unstressed, unaccented, the sound is A. But if A is pronounced with force, accent or stress, then the pronunciation will be A. Okay, this is the accent mark. A. Then an, unaccented or unstressed, and the other one is stressed. Okay, so an. This one, imagine that there is no vowel sound before N, so pronounce N in a short cryptic way, N. Before that, there is slight bit of pronunciation of the vowel. So this is N. This is clear cut An. Alright? Then the definite article, again, if it is unstressed or unaccented, the pronunciation will be da. This is delta, and the other one accented, it will be D. Alright. Now, if we pronounce A in this way, or an in these two ways, or da in these two ways, will there be any difference in meaning? Let us find out. So I'm just putting a few phrases like okay, so we have got one phrase twice. Let's imagine that the first A is to be unaccented, while the second one is stressed or accented. So this one is A, this one is A. A cat, A cat. So A cat means I am talking about, now both of them indicate one, remember. But the first phrase is indicating that I am talking one cat, not one dog or any other animal. So this is where I am putting stress. Okay, the animal, the noun after this article A. But in case of the second one, I am putting a stress on this article, because this time it is stressed A cat, meaning I am talking about one cat and not more than one. So the number is important here, while the noun is important here. Same rule applies in case of an. Let us talk about the. Alright, again, one phrase with two different pronunciation. The first one is the pen, unstressed. This is U. The second one, the pen, with stress on the article or the definite article the. Now here the meaning is that I am talking about a specific pen already mentioned. But here, if I say the pen, then the meaning will be like this, that this is the pen which is based in its function. So here the meaning will be the best pen. So if we pronounce THE, the definite article, in a strong way or with a stress, like this one, the, then the indicates some sort of superlative degree, could be best, could be the most excellent, like this. So in essence, we can summarize like this, that the is equal to the plus superlative. All right, this is the distinction in meaning. So this is subtopic number 1. Let us come across subtopic number 2, very, very important, and it is to be understood in terms of pronunciation again. Okay, then, subtopic number 2. We all remember and memorize this fundamental rule that we use the indefinite article a or a before the consonant sound of the first syllable of a target word. Vice versa, we use the indefinite article an or an before the vowel sound of the first syllable of a target word. That's quite interesting. Why not the reverse? Here is the explanation. Before that, let me tell you something with regard to the pronunciation. Now, both in British and American English, the final R of a word is very, very interesting. Like, so let us consider these two words, prayer, hair. Now, in British English, the final R is not to be pronounced. So drop it. While pronouncing according to the British English, it should be prayer, prayer, here, hair, hair. But if we pronounce these two words in American English, or according to American rules of pronunciation, the final R is to be pronounced clearly, like prayer, hair. Okay, so in American English, there is no confusion. Pronounce the word as it is, syllable by syllable. Don't drop the final R sound. But in British English, there is something extra that we must remember. If we get words beginning with both vowels and consonants, then that is very tricky. For example, I am writing hall, and atmosphere. Now here, these two words, the first one is beginning with H sound, which is a consonant, and here A, which is a vowel. Now, the rule is, if we get a word beginning with a consonant like H here, then this R is not to be pronounced, because two consonant sound will have friction, because consonants, they sound like harsh, rigid sound or rigid sort of pronunciation. But if there is consonant and vowel, there is a nice transition, a smooth transition. So if we get a word like this beginning with a vowel, then this R is to be pronounced. So you have to say prayer atmosphere, but prayer hall. This is British rule. Okay, a apple, an apple, a mango, and mango. So from our general knowledge, which we have memorized, not really understood, we realize that this one is correct and this one is correct. That means they are wrong. But why? Again, the same pronunciation rule here, vowel. Next again, vowel. Here, vowel sound, then a consonant sound, then a vowel sound. So in case of the first one, a apple, which is incorrect, simply because we see that here two vowels, there is a tendency to get overlapped. If I say a apple, apple, a apple, we sometimes pronounce in such a way that there is a confusion with regard to if or not there is the indefinite article before the word apple. So two successive vowels will have the tendency to get overlapped. There might be problem in pronunciation, problem in hearing, okay, so they may get overlapped. All right, but here, since we have clear-cut demarcation, division of the two end vowels because of the consonant in between, so the sound is quite clear-cut, and apple. So the middle consonant is giving the sort of demarcation mark. Okay, so that's why pronouncing this phrase an apple is distinct. There is no possibility of getting confused if or not there is a definite article an or not. But sometimes, as I said, here problem occurs if we pronounce this phrase in a hurry. Apple, is it a apple or simply apple? That's the confusion. That's why we must avoid putting or placing a before a word beginning with vowel. A mango is correct, but an mango is incorrect. This is vowel. Consonant, vowel consonant will have nice transition, okay, clear-cut division or demarcation, a mango or a mango, okay, whatever. But here, vowel, consonant, and again consonant. So here is the friction, okay, and mango. So two consonants, they are as if having friction or clash between them in sound. Fine, let's now move on to the subtopic number 3, where I'll be discussing 4 major areas which are very, very confusing, and most of the errors actually occur over there. So subtopic number 3 is based on this very principle that a vowel any one of these 5 can produce both a vowel sound and a consonant sound. Okay, that's very, very interesting. And again, a consonant, the remaining 21 out of the 26 letters in English alphabet, a consonant can again produce both a consonant sound and a vowel sound. So apparently, vowel producing a vowel sound is quite easy to handle, but if a vowel produces a consonant sound, that's quite interesting and complicated. Same here, consonant sound easy, but consonant vowel sound is complicated. Okay, so these two are complicated cases. But these two, they are quite easy to understand and handle. Situation or scenario number 1, easy to understand. If we get words beginning with H, which is a consonant, like hour, honor, air. So this is in British pronunciation, hour, in American hour, British honor, American honor, British air, American air. So you see, in all these cases, the first consonant sound H remains silent or dropped. That means, in essence, the word is this. So we have to consider the sound of the first syllable, not the first letter. So here, the remaining one is one syllable. Here, honor. So here, o, nar, 2 syllables, air, this is again 1 syllable. So the first syllable is to be considered. Now all of them, all the 3, they are now beginning with vowels, o, u, e, and all of them are producing vowel sound. That means vowel producing vowel sound. As a result, we have to use an and not a, even though apparently at first look, at first glance, we find that all the three words are beginning with a consonant H. Okay, so again, pronunciation is the key, especially of the first syllable. Next, number two. Number two is again not that difficult. Okay, so if we get situations like these, MA, CM, PM, ICC, remember that a consonant can produce purely a consonant sound or a vowel and consonant sound together. First vowel, then consonant, okay? Or we can see that a vowel can produce either a pure vowel sound or purely a consonant sound. In case of a vowel, there will be no hybrid or admixture of two sounds. MA, we have to consider the first letter, M. So this is the sound M. C, P, I. Okay? So if we consider the pronunciation of the sounds, then again vowel, consonant, consonant, and again vowel. Accordingly, vowel and then consonant A, again consonant A, vowel and. All right. So number three, if we get compound words, first one always just like one. So we see that all the compound phrases are beginning with one, and all of them are again beginning with vowel O. Naturally, there is a tendency in us to put an before all of them because this is vowel. Therefore, remember that according to IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, the pronunciation of one is to be expressed like this. If you don't understand this, if you don't know anything about phonetics and pronunciation, remember, in common everyday English, we can translate the pronunciation like this. Okay, this is actually informal. All right. So whether we go by IPA or informal way, we see that the guide is, the pronunciation guide is, or the pronunciation is actually beginning with W, which is a consonant. Or we are getting the consonant sound in terms of W. Okay. So since it is a consonant or the consonant sound, we have to use A and not an. That's the very rule. Then let's now come across rule number 4, which is again very, very interesting. So in rule number 4, we will get words like unique, unit, university, European, etc. So we realize that we are getting words beginning with vowel or vowels because we have to consider the first syllable sound. Unique, 2 syllables. Unit, 2 syllables. University, 5 syllables. European, P, N, 4 syllables. Okay, so it is not that we have to consider the first letter, it is to be the first syllable. All right, so when we pronounce these words, the sounds are very unique, because all the vowels, they are actually making sounds of a consonant. How? Here it is. So let's now try to get their IPA counterparts. So you see all four, they are beginning with a symbol just like English J, which is E. E. Now if we take the very next vowel sound with it, then we are getting the sound U, which is equivalent to English, okay, Y, U. And since Y is a consonant, then before all of them, we have to use A and not An. So you have to say A unique, A unit, A university, A European. Okay? So you see, here are the 4 exceptional situations or unique scenarios where we have to be very careful, because the rules are here getting reversed. All right, subtopic number 4, a few specific uses of the or the. So we know that if a noun or noun equivalent is specified or particularized, then we have to use the definite article the or the in place of a or an, which don't really particularize or specify a noun or noun equivalent in that way. So here are a few special cases. Now rule number 1, remember, if we mention a noun or noun equivalent beginning with either a consonant or a vowel second time, third time, fourth time, there must be the definite article the before it. Like a pen was bought. We don't know which pen, what pen. So this is indefinite and therefore according to the consonant sound. But as soon as we mention that pen on the second occasion, we have to use the pen. So we will say the pen was made in Japan, but if we say the pen was made in Japan, then if we put a stress on this definite article by pronouncing it like the, that means the pen I'm talking about is one of its kind, possibly the very best, possibly it is the most favorable and popular. Okay, so that is how we will get the meaning out of the sentences wherever we get a specific pronunciation of the definite article the. It is the or the. All right, then point number 2, if we get any ordinal number indicating the order or position of a noun, then we have to use the in place of a or an. Like the 5th boy in the class was my brother. Okay, so as soon as we are getting an ordinal number 5th, then this noun is already particularized or highlighted or specified. Accordingly, we have to use the and not a, even though we are talking of 1, the number 1. Okay, next point number 3, if we get any relative clause through which we get a particular noun specified or highlighted, then we have to use the definite article the before the antecedent, which is qualified or modified by the relative clause, like man who helped me was thanked. So here this antecedent or noun is being modified or qualified by the relative clause who helped me. So we have to use the here. The man who helped me was thanked. Then point number 4, very interesting and confusing at times. So if we get situations like this, Dashman was elected or selected or nominated as the observer or the president or the secretary or the captain. Okay, then remember that here we have to use the. I'm talking about a specific person. But if we use a, like a man was elected or selected or nominated as the president, observer or secretary or the captain, in that case the focus will be on man. We are trying to say that a man and not a woman was elected or selected or nominated as the observer, president, secretary or captain. But whether we write the man or a man, this sentence is incorrect. Okay, first of all, remember that we must not use as at all. Then if we don't get anything other than these positions or the posts, then the will be dropped as well. So the correct sentence is the man was elected or selected or nominated observer, president, secretary or captain. Okay. But if we want to put the, then we have to specify or particularize these nouns. How to do that? We have to use an adjective or adjective phrase after that. For example, if we say or if we add of the club, which is an adjective phrase, then we can retain the. In that case, the sentence will be the man was elected or selected or nominated the observer or the president or the secretary or the captain of the club. Okay, that means if we don't get anything, any adjective or adjective phrase to qualify these nouns further, then that will be dropped, and if we get anything like this, then that will be intact over there. But in no situations we will use as here. Okay, so this is the correct version. Finally, one more point, number 5, with regard to English language. If I say I teach them English, this one is correct because English is both the language spoken in England as well as English is the adjective version of anything in and about England. So this one is correct. But if we want to use the, remember we don't use the definite article the before language. So we can't say I teach them the English. Okay, this one is wrong. Okay, we can say I love the English weather or English food. That's fine. In that case, I'm talking about a specific food, specific or particular food. That's it, the is okay. But if we talk about English as a language, then we must not use the definite article the. But again, like this, if we particularize this language or if we mention this word as language, like if we use the word language itself, then in terms of this word, the term English is already particularized, highlighted or specified. in that case the definite article the will be okay. So either I teach them English or I teach them the English language. So remember the points already mentioned and discussed in this video, and after that I hope there'll be no problem in using a, an, and the correctly in your sentences, whether spoken or written. So keep watching and get benefited from the videos like this one, and get better day by day, every day, so that you can improve upon your existing knowledge of English, and in the long run you can serve your motherland. Thanks for watching.